Before that, 3 days preceding that, 4 died again on the spot, car accident, and they are fleeing death. And the ones they left here are still smiling because they have faith in God and they know that the day that they are going to die, whether they are going to be killed by a bullet, Syria
Coming to this occasion for a press brief that was made by the Chief of Defense Staff. And as we go on through the session, immediately after the press brief, get home, please at the end of the brief, if you have any questions, you try to introduce yourself, the media house you represent, and tell us who you are, so that we'll be able to get a well-conducted ceremony, and I guess we could start from this.
Yeah. Thank you.
All of this needs to be moved to that point.
Disgraced con man and cult leader, Ambassador Dr. Kenneth D. Jackson, the SCEI One Blood cult leader, who now lives in relative obscurity in light of several ongoing investigations ranging from child molestation to potential ties with terrorism, has once again publicly admitted his relationship with the puppet dictator and warlord Yahya Jammeh, president of the Gambia. In a report released by the state propaganda newspaper Daily Observer, Mr. Kenneth D. Jackson has once again revealed to the public his unwavering support for the brutal military leader Yahya Jammeh, who took the government by force during a military coup and has since been connected and allegedly responsible for corruption and state-endorsed genocide within the Gambia. Jackson once again repeated his previous statements about the safety of the Gambia and its potential as an economic power base in the region and the world. Jackson, who has claimed diplomatic status as an ambassador in 2 different countries, also claims to be God's divine leader on earth. He has also made public claims to be the single appointed global ambassador of the One True Church of God, a position which he claims to have inherited from the former Worldwide Church of God leader, Herbert W. Armstrong, who also claimed to be God's ambassador on earth and the modern-day Elijah, a position similar to Mr. Jackson's own self-claimed incarnation as a modern-day Joseph. Jackson, an American native born to several generations of U.S. citizens or slaves, claims to be a descendant of a king of West Africa and the rightful sole heir of a huge swath of West Africa encompassing the Gambia, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, 2 other countries in which Jackson tried unsuccessfully to rise to power, allegedly resulting in his general exile from those 2 places. After 2 failed attempts to set up a power base using agriculture, it seems he may now be shifting his strategy towards the manipulation of economics. In the report released last week, Jackson made reference to his first diplomatic mission, which in fact he has previously admitted had not actually been formally endorsed by the State Departments of either the Gambia, Canada, or the United States. That trip further resulted in a somewhat public humiliation when the U.S. government refused to acknowledge him at all, causing him to cancel a supposed U.S. leg of the trip, during which he was supposed to meet with top leaders in Washington, D.C. He claimed that the U.S. government had refused to properly acknowledge and formally invite him, which insulted his position of authority and meant that they would have to come begging later. This writer spent over 14 days covering the Canada trip as part of Jackson's personal entourage and was witness to a variety of dishonest claims, attempts to commit frauds, as well as a fully pre-planned murder plot to eliminate a former member of Jackson's organization. While in Canada, Jackson used multiple false claims and credentials to attempt to defraud private industry leaders to investing in massive infrastructure programs in the Gambia, including a giant floating deepwater seaport. Among those targeted by Jackson were shipping magnate Blair McKeel and equipment scrap trader Bill Van Ravensway. The murder plot was to occur at Ravensway's scrapyard on Highway 56 in Canfield, Ontario. Ravensway, Jackson's primary host and strategic partner in his own words, was during a portion of that trip incarcerated on gun charges, stemming charges levied against him as the result of Project Heist, a 5-month OPP investigation focusing on WG equipment owned by Van Ravensway. This investigation charged that Van Ravensway and his son Trevor ran a Haldeman company that shipped stolen vehicles and parts out of Canada. Van Ravensway faces a total of 38 charges over the exports, altered vehicle identification numbers, forgery, and possession of a prohibited weapon. Jackson, who has also been conclusively linked to several frauds, including false credentials, investment scams, and even frauds as wild as involvement with a false branch of the Knights of Malta, which was responsible for numerous frauds and subject to several criminal investigations. And among the known deceptions of Ambassador Apostle Dr. Kenneth D. Jackson are a fantastical false CV, which claims him to be a king, diplomat, ambassador, apostle, Indian chieftain, special attorney, holistic doctor, dentist, university president, and much more. The education listed on his CV include 2 defunct diploma mills in the University of Maryland of College Park, which has adamantly denied that he ever attended, including issuing a formal letter of denial. The question on everyone's mind now is, what is the real relationship between President Jammeh and Kenneth D. Jackson Sr.? Why is he claiming to be ambassador at large? Why is the state propaganda rag endorsing it? And lastly, how many more victims will be left in the wake of this man? Even as his religious cult following and making Georgia reels from the blows of the criminal trial of Jackson's number 3 administrator for aggravated child molestation, which extends to his own son, Smoke Jackson, and while multiple families struggle to piece together lives broken and young girls forever scarred by the sadistic abuses of Ambassador Dr. Kenneth T. Jackson Sr. and his organization, he is still at his old games, playing God with politics and further complicating geopolitical factors already at play in West Africa and the world.
Now this is the one and only Amo Rago FM playing you the best in
Nata minna wolum alala mansitalla la tonya ayafunyami ngafo ngalo nganyomuta nganna banku bonde alhalo abeminto sanji waru la koma mansatalla danila